You know, I find it rather interesting that it seems to be that when it comes to social media with all the politics behind, you know, what gets demonetized, whose channels get taken down, who gets put in timeout, who gets suspended, gets put in Twitter or Facebook jail, and all the other um, punishing tactics that are used by the social media companies. You know, it's funny. You hear people claim that you can't say anything about black people without being called a racist, all that stuff. But you know what's funny? I see almost the exact opposite. Don't get me wrong. There are some people that obviously out here that quote unquote pull the race card because that's all they got. We get that. But the thing is, unfortunately, sometimes that sentiment has been used as a broad brush on the entire black community, which is intellectually dishonest and truthfully not accurate. Okay? Not accurate at all. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to add a broad brush that because there are some people that do it that if you representative of the majority, when in fact it may not be at all. Now I would say that it's probably not actually, but it's funny to me how it seems to be that YouTubers or content creators on social media, it seems that you know mocking black people and making fun of black people seems to be a free pass out here. I mean, look, I can name quite a few YouTubers who have had no problem on whether that be on YouTube or on social media talking shit to black people when they have an opinion about your culture or certain behaviors that you engage in or whatever. It's it's a free fall, right? It's all a joke. I mean, come on, we got one platform where they had the audacity to have one of the hosts wearing a KKK hood, and the man's not is Sudanese, so he's African per se and Arab. I mean, it's all a joke to a lot of people. Hell, it's a joke to a lot of immigrants, even the black ones, right? Our history and the struggles. I mean, just the idea. Here's a man who's, you have people doing these type of things. You have, really, it's a joke. But what I think is a bigger joke is that how these people they do it because they know they can get away with it for all the talk that they want to wag their finger at black folks. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely things about the black community that can be criticized. But see, problem is some of these people are criticizing it not from a place of any experience or real knowledge, and that's where it becomes real ignorant. And one of these guys, matter of fact, I've been named Sneeko, who's talks about rap music and about how bad rap music is and all it's about, this other stuff. But you know what's funny? He's too young to even know about what real rap music is. You got dudes like that talking about rap music, talking about people busting sags. Well, he wasn't even, I don't even think that boy was even alive when people were busting sags. But here he is, it's like, again, taking shots at the black community. It's all free. It's okay, right? And some other ones too. And one actually, even though she doesn't do it outright, I would say one white female YouTuber who's been pretty popular for a while. She even kind of talks sideways, in my opinion. Some things she said hasn't been very educated, in my opinion, been kind of ignorant because a lot of cases, as a matter of fact, I've seen people go actually on her page and tell her that maybe you need to get a little bit more information from the other side than just from one political angle. You might actually know something, but yeah, does she know something? Sure, but at the end of the day, I think that although she may converse or socialize or have, you know, be in spaces with black people, doesn't mean that she doesn't have some bigoted views. Because at the end of the day, if you have a very one side of the aisle perspective, it's kind of hard for you to really, like, you need to start looking at, like, for example, and that's why I'm not going to try to get too far off track here. Thomas Sowell seems to be the go-to guy when a lot of YouTubers or so-called conservative YouTubers want to go to a black intellectual, a man that they talk to about racial issues and historical issues. But the funny part about it is the man's got a PhD. He's actually supposed to be an economist. But the funny part is nobody ever wants to talk to him about the economy. But I digress. But anyway, yeah. You got plenty of these spots that have no problem with taking shots at black folks. But I think the thing is, what we got to do is we got to stop letting these things be so free for these people to do. See, what it shows you how much power black people don't have. Because we can all think of one group in particular that, hell, you got social media platforms being like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Who do you want me to censor? Whose platform do you want to knock down? Okay? We know who it is. We know in one platform in particular, the owner and CEO took upon himself to go to a country and basically stand on one side of a conflict versus another. Okay, and pick a side. And I've stated actually in a preview, if you pay attention, that he didn't do it because he was so much concerned. It was to basically save from the advertisers that he was being attacked for not doing the bidding of certain group of people, which is the way they want as far as him scaling back on quote unquote certain hate speech online against certain group of people. And my thing is that, we don't get that kind of protection. Let's just be real, folks. We don't get that kind of protection from these social media platforms. It's all a joke to make fun of black folks, but you know what we got to do, folks? This is where a lot of us, we have to, look, the black manosphere and the red pill space has definitely made a mark. Black media has made a mark, more so than what mainstream wants to admit, but it definitely has. It has had a highly resonating effect, and it's still having an effect now. They just try not to give it its due because they don't want to get too much excitement going for some of the latecomers to the party. You know, they don't want to add. They don't want any more fuel. They don't want to add any more fuel to the fire, basically, right? But here's the reality: some of these people, I think, need to. We need to start calling some of these people out. But more importantly, we need to start showing some of these people that it's not just okay for you to think that taking shots at black folks and a lot of things that some of these people who are no authorities really on the culture at all, but yet they're up here, it's all jokes, it's all fun because it's like nah, you can't do nothing about it anyway, right? It's all a joke. But what's going to happen is some of these people are already backing themselves into the corner because a lot of stuff they've done or not done. So ultimately, their true persons are being shown anyway. But the point that I'm trying to make is we got to start making it real hard for these people. We got to start putting the heat on these folks who just think that they can get to smear black folks. We can tell truths about a lot of cultures, but the funny is there's a lot of hypocrisy comes to that because some of these same people, when the pendulum swings the other way or when the shoes are on the foot for cultural criticism, they're not so open to that. They take offense to it. So guess what? Maybe we should start taking offense to certain things, particularly the things that people are saying when they're in no position to say them. When they say something stupid and uninformed, they need to be called out on it. And I don't care if there's black folks supporting them. But guess what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Those black people that are associated with them or friends with them, whatever the case is, they can do whatever they want. But guess what? That doesn't mean that other parts of the culture or other factions or collectives are not going to have a different opinion or a different opinion about the person defending them. There has to be a level of respect here. That's the thing. I feel like look, there's some ratchet stuff that goes on, okay? I'm not going to sit there and give any misconception that the community is, not responsible for some of its own imaging, but at the same time, there's folks out here that just think it's just, free for all to basically go after black folks. And I think that type of behavior needs to be checked because there has to be a lot of respect. And we have to gain that respect by taking it, meaning, don't let these folks get away with nonsense. Don't. Start letting your voice be heard, and let's start putting some heat on these folks. Let's look at some of their advertisers, like you know what I mean. You see. I'll tell you right now, this society wouldn't like it if black folks engaged in politics the way some groups do. They would hate it. It would kill them, because at the end of the day, what it would do, in truth, it will put some of these other groups up to the test to actually see if they can actually compete the way they claim they can. That's what it would actually do. Because we're lazy and we're this, we're that. You know what I mean? We want to get checks. We want to sit around, have all the stereotypes they can push. But guess what? Let us go in that direction and see and watch people squirm. And you know what? They don't believe you. Don't care. Go ahead and do it, and see how quiet things get. It's not always what people say; it's what they don't say. See how some of all the little jives and jokes and all the stuff about telling us to shut the F up, as one particular YouTuber had the audacity to tell us, and to basically make fun of our history, like talk about disrespectful. It's that kind of stuff has to be, yeah. These people have to see that. See what has to happen. These people need to see that they're going to lose something in the process. They feel like they don't lose anything by making fun of black people. Let's be real. They don't lose nothing. I mean, come on. Look, you have people like Dog the Bounty Hunter, which obviously was still an illegal recording, that was having a conversation with his son about a black girl he was dating, and the N word was used all through the whole. He had a whole N word tirade through that whole conversation. And he got suspended for a little bit. But guess what? He got a show back. No permanent punishment. And you have Paul Dean, another one, who got caught there saying some stuff. Guess what? She got forgiven too. Yeah. So this idea that there's this big punishment, that if you say something about black folks and wham, well, if that was true, they wouldn't be saying nothing now, would they? What they want to tell you is that you're crying, you're whining. Look, there's some things out here that are fair game, right? If they're based on fact. But at the same time, there's some folks out here that literally are just making the stuff up. And that needs to be called out. When you got young people who don't know much, weren't even alive really when rap culture started, and they're here, acting like they know about rap culture because of some new corporate-owned, commercialized stuff, which again, the very people that's helping promote this trash or this degenerate rap are the very same people they're scared to say anything about. Matter of fact, somebody pointed that out. Kanye. But it's all jokes. And just like they said, it's all fun until the rappers got the gun. And what's going to happen is they can keep taking shots at us all they want to. But I think that we really start shooting back, not literally, but proverbially, it does turn out, they try to push back. They try to fight back. They try to retaliate. They try to retort stuff. But at the end of the day, once the conversation gets to a certain point, they have to realize that it's not going to be okay. And once that lesson is taught, maybe we can start seeing some more respect around here. One, we gotta respect ourselves, obviously, but at the end of the day, they don't get to pick and tell us how to respect ourselves. We know, or the ones of us that want to know what that is. But you don't allow any other group to determine that but you, because that doesn't happen in any other group, and it shouldn't hell's happen here. But people feel that they have some authority to tell us what we need to do. Well, guess what? You gotta teach people how to treat you. And some of these folks have really gotten away with a lot of rhetoric that even the social media companies don't punish them for. So guess what? If they don't punish them, we have to punish them, or we got to punish the social media platforms that allow this type of treachery. That's all there is to it. You know, it's got to be fair for all or it's fair for none, right? So, anyway, just wanted to put a word in on that. Just having a thought. Hope you guys actually really take consideration what I said and put that into action at inappropriate times. Because at the end of the day, you know, there has to be some accountability for some of these people. Whether they think, they gotta know that, we're not just gonna be a whipping boy. Okay. If you're talking about black people, stop sweeping, stop using the broad brush when you do it. Talk about specific people in specific situations, but stop trying to glue us like we're a monolith. And guess what? Because we ain't taking that no more.